Welcome to the Indie Film Hustle Podcast, episode number 330. Follow your dreams and the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls before. Mongo Wilder.
Broadcasting from the back alley in Hollywood, it's the Indie Film Hustle Podcast, where we show you how to survive and thrive as an indie filmmaker in the jungles of the film biz. And here's your host, Alex Ferrari.
Welcome, my Indie Film Hustlers, to another episode of the Indie Film Hustle Podcast. I am your humble host, Alex Ferrari. Today's show is sponsored by Industry Jump. Industry Jump is a global community of verified filmmakers providing the next generation of filmmakers with the resources required to grow their businesses, learn new skills, and manage their careers. You can sign up for free. You can even create a verified portfolio, search for film crew to hire for your next projects, and learn from top-tier creators in the industry through live video mentoring. So if you want to check this out, guys, head over to industryjump.com. Today's show is also sponsored by Blackbox. Blackbox is a new platform and community that is all about financial freedom for filmmakers like you. If you join Blackbox, you will be transformed from being a worker to being a maker of your own content, and you'll be making steady passive income from the global market. Blackbox currently allows you to upload your stock footage once, get it to many global agencies, and then allows you to share that passive income stream with your collaborators. Whether you want to submit old footage that's been sitting around in your hard drives or create brand new content, Blackbox is for you. It's really quite revolutionary. With Blackbox, filmmakers can concentrate on making great content while Blackbox takes care of all the business BS. Just visit www.blackbox.global to find out more. Now, before we get started today, I know you guys I've been getting messages like crazy about what is this big news? What is this big thing that I've been working on? Well, patience, young grasshoppers, patience. It will be all revealed next week. I'll be revealing what I've been working on next week, but I can't promise you that it is as big, or if not the biggest thing I've done since launching Indie Film Hustle. And no, it is not a new feature film. It is something bigger than a feature film. So I am so excited to share with you. I'm going crazy, but you know me, I always like to tease you guys. So hang on, and all will be revealed next week. Now, today on the show, we have writer-director Adam William Ward. And he has a new film called Wally Got Wasted. And the reason I wanted to bring him on the show is because how he made this film. They made this film on a very, very low budget. And they made it look really, really good. They shot with an Alexa. They made it, they did it all on a budget, but made it look really good. And the film, Wally Got Wasted, is basically The Hangover meets Weekend at Bernie's. And they shot it not in a production-friendly environment. They shot it guerilla-style in Los Angeles, which is one of the more difficult places to shoot guerrilla, a full feature film with that kind of, footprint as possible. So that's why I entitled this episode "To Film and Die in LA," because it's an amazing his story of how he got the movie made, how they're doing it, and also their distribution model and what they're going to be doing. They're going to be self-distributing the film. They decided that they're going to go down the self-distribution model path. So it is a very eye-opening episode, to say the least, and funny as all hell. So I think you guys are going to be really, really entertained. And there are some knowledge bombs dropped in this episode without question. So without further ado, please enjoy my entertaining and enlightening conversation with Adam William Ward. I'd like to welcome to the show Adam William Ward. Brother, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Good to be on here.
Yeah, man. We hooked up actually. I think it was this. We were at Holly Shorts, and I screening This Is Meg there that night or not?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you, because I did not catch you in your screening. I caught you in the lobby.
It might have been afterwards or something like that. Yeah.
Daniel and Theo, the guys who run Holly Shorts, introduced me to you, and then we just it off, man.
Yeah, and then we run into each other at AFM and other places. So it's a small town. It's a small town. So before we get into your movie and the ridiculous story and how you made it, how did you get into the business in the first place?
Well, I mean, I was doing theater in high school, and I they named an award after me, the A Ward Award. I was successful in high school theater. And so that built.
You're huge in Japan. Like you're huge in Japan. You can't even walk the streets in Japan.
It's important because it builds confidence.
Of course.
Like, and then I went to film school in HPU, Hawaii Pacific University. It wasn't really film school. It was like a visual comm degree. And then eventually I made it to LA, and I was like, what the heck do I do? And I was actually on a plane ride, and I accidentally sat next to Jimmy Schmitz. And Jimmy Schmitz.
Jimmy the Schmitz? Really?
Jimmy the Schmitz, the actor, yes. And he convinced me to go to an acting school, a Meisner acting school. And so I went to that acting school, and then I just really dived into acting 100% from there. And I acted in, 11 short films in 2009. Mm-hmm. And I was a lead in 3 indie features in 2010. And 2 of the indie features never saw the light of day. I mean, they never even finished. They had, one of them I played Jesus in. They had like a whole boat on the ocean and like waves and wind and rain, and the movie never got finished. It still never has seen the light of day.
Anytime I hear stories like that, it makes me so sad. So much work, so much money, so much resources, and I've seen them. I've seen those movies myself.
Yeah. And so after that experience of being in those features and none of them turning, some of them not coming out, some coming out not being the best, I was like, I can't keep running at this just as an actor. I have to I got to wear some other hats. And so I raised the money to shoot a TV pilot, and then everything fell apart. And then I was like, hold on, I'll write something. And I wrote it, and I ended up directing it. It's called 3 Guys on a Couch. It's on Amazon Prime for free now. It's a TV pilot. And that was like my introduction back into filmmaking. I had a short film I made in college, which was horrible, and I had a lot of guts, so I was showing it to people in the industry. It's horrible. And of course, I was met with I don't know what the heck, kind of, because I worked at DreamWorks the first day I moved here. Actually, my brother hooked me up.
Not a bad gig. Just when you land.
I got very lucky. I met with Mark Graziano. He's the head of post production there, and he basically it was just a meeting, and he was like, "You seem really cool. We need some help around here. We got Transformers, Indiana Jones, like Disturbia. Like, why don't you stick around and help?" I was like, "Okay." And so I worked there for like 3 months, just running dailies of like Heartbreak Kid and like all these other movies. And I was in the editing bays on Disturbia and watching Steven Spielberg like walk by. It's like my first month in town, It was like so exciting.
That's so cool. And
they gave free lunch. They give free lunch at DreamWorks. It was a big deal for me at 23.
Solid.
And then from there, I went and worked at Warner Brothers for Todd Phillips, who directed Hangover. And right. I did notes on Hangover, and I just was so excited about that script. They were really excited about another movie called Manwich, which never came out. But Hangover, I was like, Hangover.
And you read the script? You read the script before the movie came out?
I read the script before the movie came out. I gave notes on the movie. I ended up, in my notes, I heavily cut a scene that ended up getting cut in the movie, which is great. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a great experience. But at the same time, it was like, what am I doing? I need to go act. And then I met Jimmy Schmitz on the plane actually after those jobs. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was that was that. And so fast forward to 3 Guys on a Couch. I made that, and then from 3 Guys on a Couch, someone at Fox saw 3 Guys on a Couch, which is a TV pilot I did, totally independent. And they brought me in, and I was like so excited. I was on Fox Lot, and they were like, "Listen, we'd love to develop a new show with you." And I was like, "Okay, this is great news, So I came in every week to Fox, I didn't sign anything. I just went in, and they were developing ideas with me and like saying, you should. I like that idea. Go with that.
So hold on a second, but you had no representation at this time, or you did?
Representation. I know nothing.
So you're literally based on some dude's word at Fox.
Yeah.
You're walking in and pitching ideas and developing something with no paperwork, no money, no nothing. You were just so excited to be on this lot, you would do anything.
I'm a kid. Absolutely. I'm excited. I'm like 25, 24 years old. I'm like, dude, I'm going Fox. They want to develop a show with me. I'm telling all my friends, like this is a done deal in my head, 9 months I drive into Fox.
No.
giving them idea after idea. The guy's probably telling his boss all my ideas every day. Like, I came up with this idea. But anyway.
9 months you did this?
9 months. 9 months.
Wow. Yeah. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. And now back to the show.
Wrote a couple different scripts for them. And one of them, the one I was most excited about was Parole Officers, and they were excited about it too. And so he's telling me, I think you're going to get $1 million budget for the pilot episode, and let's set up a table read for all the execs.
You got no contract.
I have nothing.
You have nothing. Have they bought you coffee? Have they done anything for you?
Not that I remember. So anyway, what they did not know was I was taking all these scripts and I was copywriting them at home. So I owned everything. So at least I was covering my ass there.
At least you were somewhat smart.
Somewhat, yes. Like nowadays, I'd be like, well, let's get a contract. That's the first conversation.
A napkin, something.
Anything. But when you're green and you're young and you're excited,
of course.
Just to go into Fox every day was such a big deal to me. And so, so from there, the table read was canceled the day before the table read. And he was like, I'm sorry. We actually have an idea now that's similar to that. We're not going to do that.
Shocking.
That's what he says, right?
Shocking.
So I decide, well, okay, screw that. I'm going to go and I'm going to make it myself. Because I'm heartbroken for a couple months. And then I'm like, I'm going to go make Parole Officers on my own. So I ended up finding some independent money and shooting it for like $5,000, but it's a TV pilot. That's also on Amazon Prime for free, Parole Officer.
Okay.
And we did a lot with a little. I mean, for that little amount of money, it looks pretty legit and pretty exciting. I mean, you can just type in Google Parole Officers trailer and the trailer pops right up. It looks great. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of my playground. It was really where I learned a lot about how to make film. And I mean, I had film school, but it doesn't really compare because film school, you have a bunch of people that don't really want to do it. With these, at least I had enough to hire a crew.
Right.
So I had a DP, I had a first AC, I had a grip, a gaffer, I had all that stuff. And so you can really lead people down a direction. So three guys on a couch and Parole Officers, I both got to do on my own. I directed 2 other short films that somebody brought me on to direct. So that was nice just for experience. And I was still acting in a lot of stuff and auditioning for stuff. But yeah, eventually, I think it was 2014, we started writing the rough draft for for Wally Got Wasted, which is the feature. And Wally Got Wasted, if nobody knows, it's about 3 regular guys that are going to have a night out on the town to cheer the heartbroken guy up. And they accidentally kill somebody. And they have to get rid of the body all in one night in LA. So that is the premise of the movie Wally Got Wasted. It's like Hangover meets Weekend at Bernie's. Got it. So we wrote it in 2014. It took about a year to write it. And we won. We actually won in Pittsburgh Film Festival Best Script in 2014, I think, or 2015. And then with the script, again, you have these heartbroken things where you go to studios and you try to get it made legit and, the fairy tale kind of, the sold fairy tale. And we actually had Sony really, really interested in it. The head of post-production there, she was like, oh my God, I've been looking for a script to jump into producing for years. This is the script. I love this script. It's phenomenal. I'm going to bring it to all the executives at Sony and we're going to make this movie. I said, well, I want to direct it too. And she was like, I don't know about that.
Have you not seen Parole Officers? I mean, have you not seen?
So
it's on Amazon.
She was so excited. It wasn't at the time. She was so excited, calling me 2-3 times a day for a month. And then eventually nothing, just total cutoff. And she was going to meet the executives the next day. So I don't know what happened there. It just got cut off. I kind of know what happened, but I won't get into it too much. Mm-hmm. But needless to say, they didn't come through. So we were like, what are we going to do? So we decided to raise the money on our own and shoot Wally Got Wasted. So we sold units to the movie and raised some money, not as nearly as much as we wanted to. And we shot the whole movie for $70,000. So, nice. I mean, we only had $40,000 in the bank and we had 30 grand we were supposed to get from my partner, my business partner and writer partner, Seth.
Mm-hmm.
He had somebody in a bad business deal rob him of like a lot of money. And so the 30 grand that he was going to put in was gone. So literally I was like, I can shoot it for 70 grand. And he found out he lost that money the first day of shooting Wally Got Wasted. And so he found out the very first day. And so he, like, it's funny, the photos, the videos of him, everything, you can tell he's like having a nervous breakdown. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like take a photo and like half an eye is open, you know, like he's literally like the wheels are turning because he thinks he has to talk to me that night and tell me we'd shut the movie down. So he eventually comes to me after, you know, the day of shooting is over. It's a 12, 13-hour day. And he says, listen, man, we have to shut the movie down. I don't have the money anymore. And we still have 40 grand in the bank. And I said, Seth, nothing in the world could shut us down. I said, I've already done all the work. Everything's done. I said, we just have to stay true to the course now. I said, we'll put it all on credit cards. We're not going to shut down. Nothing's going to stop us. So that's what we did. And we shot 38 locations in 22 days.
That's insane. And you shot with like an Alexa as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, I must have pulled $500,000 to $750,000 worth of favors. Really. I mean, we had an Arri Alexa, we had cranes, we had jib arms, we had 3-ton grip truck, we had the whole crew from the TV show Teen Wolf came over on our movie. I mean, the movie looks like a studio movie. Everybody who sees the trailer, everybody who sees the movie, they assume it's a studio movie. They don't think it's an independent movie.
Yeah, no, the trailer looks insane. I mean, it looks really, really good. When I saw it, I was like, wow, it looks, the production value is there. You could tell it was done by professionals. But one thing I don't want you to skim over is that you said you pull favors, but you pull those favors because you built those relationships over the years, right?
Absolutely. I've been in LA since 2006. And, you know, everybody sells this dream of like making it overnight, but no, I've built a lot of relationships, a lot of goodwill. There's a lot of people that support me and know that I'm never going to give up. And so all those people come to the table when you really, I mean, it's my first feature. Wally Got Wasted is my first feature. So they come to the table and they really support you. They know, you know, the grip truck guy, I was one of the guys who didn't even know me. And he's like, it's your first feature, bro. Don't worry. I got it. Like the deal he gave me was insane on the grip truck. And it was just like, he didn't know me. And he was like, it's your first feature, man. I get it. Like people want to help. People are supportive and, you know, people really do want to help, especially, I mean, LA, I got lucky. I met a lot of great people, but especially in small bunky towns. I mean, you would say you're making a movie. I mean, if you're listening to this and you're in like Nebraska, like everybody around you is ready to help, you know?
Oh, and then some. I've had people on the show like that. One that did it in, I forgot, I think it was Kansas, Goodland, Kansas. The whole movie was about the town, Goodland. But it was like this kind of like, you know, No Country for Old Men style movie, but all in this town. And it was like, and he got the production value, he got a red box deal, he got a theatrical for it. It was like insane. And it cost him, I think, like $100,000. But everybody, like his mom was catering, you know, it was like, and the whole town knew it. It was insane.
It's amazing how people, they want to support you, they want to help you. But I mean, the truth is, the movie's only as good as your talent, you know, and how much you make sure the script's right. Make sure.
Yes.
Like the more I do this, the more I realize if you don't make magic on the day's useless. Mm-hmm. You know, like literally. I mean, and we had a few days when we made magic on Wally Got Wasted, and a lot of people love the movie. Don't get me wrong, and that's why movies shoot 1 page a day, 3 pages a day. It takes that much time to make something magical. I mean, you know, you go home and you go, wow, that was what an amazing footage we got today. That needs to be every single day because you need to make magic every single day, you know, when you're entertaining people. If you want to be on the bar that I want to be on, at least.
Right, so. Exactly. On that Spielberg bar and that Nolan and Fincher bar.
Exactly. And it's a lot easier to do when you have a lot of money because you have time, you have more money, and when money equals time. And so if you don't get good footage in 6 hours, you just keep shooting the scene, you know, because you have enough money or you plan it, you know, so they're already planning. So they have so much time to shoot a scene
and also support crew.
Yeah. Crew. exactly. My movie, somebody's wearing 3 hats, I'm wearing 6 hats alone, but like my, one person might be doing costume and props and makeup and something else, like.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. And now back to the show.
And they're not getting paid what they deserve. No one's getting paid what they deserve. So if you have any problems, if you feel your worth is not being met, you're not going to work as hard as you can. So really, it's a labor of love. It's, everybody involved, it has to be a labor of love for.
And you also acted in the film.
I do act in the film. I'm one of the 3 leads, yes.
So you're not only a cameo, but a lead, and you're directing and producing, and you wrote it, and a few other hyphenates, I'm sure.
Yeah, I casted everybody. I found all the locations mostly. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff.
So how do you, on a budget like that, on the speed that turnaround that you did, how do you direct and act? Because I was in my movie for 5 minutes, literally in screen time in my last movie where I had to play myself, unfortunately. And I'm trying to direct and do I look good? Am I okay? It was brutal. So I can't even imagine what you did. So how do you do that, man?
I think, for a long time I was just acting. So, that's the thing. I have enough experience with acting that I'm pretty good at it. And everything that like 3 Guys on the Couch and Parole Officers, I'm also leads in those. So I have an experience acting and directing. I kind of worked my way up into a feature acting and directing. But, it's not an easy hat. You're sitting there acting with somebody, and behind the camera might be a cop or a security guard, like asking, where's your permit? Like, you don't have a permit, and I'm still like acting lines as I like am thinking in the back of my head, like, I have to go deal with this problem right after this take, but at the same time, and that's the thing too, is I can't give myself as much time as I give other people. I usually take the last take and I go, I'll do it in 1 take, because it saves time, And so, I'm lucky, people have liked my acting in the movie. There was an England review that like compared me to Jason Segel and praised my acting a lot. I'm so thankful for it. But in my opinion, it's not really my fullest acting ability at all. I would have been way better of an actor if I could just focus on acting in the film. But my life is what it is, and you got to deal with what you got. So
I feel you, brother. I feel you. Now, what is the biggest lesson you took away from making Wally Got Wasted?
I kind of knew it going in, the biggest lesson, which is like, you just got to do it. You can't, don't take no for an answer. So many people have said you can't do that. What you're trying to do, clubs, fast food restaurants, trains, cars, bars, every location imaginable. So many people said, listen, you need to slow down, man. You can't do this for the amount of money you have. You can't. And I've always just pressed my luck, and I'm one of the luckiest people you ever meet. I tell people that all the time because I am. Positive thinking is positive results. That is kind of the outlook of it. And that's the thing that I learned. It was proof is in the pudding. We made it. So
now, what is the biggest fear you had to overcome when directing this film?
I don't know that I look at it. I don't have time for fear. Hours a day. There's no fear. That's the thing. I'm the captain of the ship, and we eventually had altogether probably 100 people work on the movie. Mm-hmm. I have no time for fear. I have no time for doubt. I have no time for any of that stuff. I'm sleeping 2 hours a day on average, because after 12 hours of shooting, I'm then straightening up where we're shooting, helping everyone I can. I'm working 15 hours a day, and then when I get home, I have to try to go over the next day and make sure there's no problems, and if there is, start trying to take care of those problems. And we had all kinds of crazy problems. Emergencies every day, and if the producers that come on board can't fix it, it comes back to me. Like the cave location, we shoot in this gigantic cave up north in California. They called us the day before and said, you can't shoot in the cave. I'm like, we have a whole crew in a grip truck. Like, I'm coming tomorrow. Like, we're shooting. They're like, well, the cave didn't get finished. I'm sorry. It's
So
only
what do you mean it didn't get finished? Was it a real cave or a set?
It was so they dug in the ground. So half the cave is real. Ceiling is fake. So half the freaking cave is styrofoam. So we couldn't shoot in one direction. We're not painted. It's white, you know. So they basically go, you can't come here. You can't shoot. I go, we're shooting and we're coming. And I had to figure it out. I went there and I was like, okay, we're going to shoot the whole scene in one direction. The whole scene. So, you know, we cheated it. No one knows when they watch the movie. No one's mentioned it once. But they're facing the same direction. We just lighted it a little different, you know, so there's different, because there's texture to the cave. So if you light it a little different, it looks different. So people that are talking to each other, the background's the same, but it's different, you know, and no one's ever noticed, you know. So we got lucky with that. But there were so many other emergencies too. We had, I think the hardest stuff with shooting, I think the biggest thing I did learn is I need more support, but I need a good producer that can try to shield me from problems so I can focus more. And we had a lot of emergencies. We unfortunately had a crew member had a son overdose.
Oh, man.
So you're dealing with that upsetness. The family dog died. There's all this external stuff that makes things really hard on you. Because I have people calling and crying to me all day, every day. And I'm usually the people that come to when they're upset. And I can't be there for you. I can't take on any more hats. So I can't be there for my actor whose son died. You know, I can't even take that in mentally or emotionally, because the time I spend thinking about that or even taking that in, I will not be thinking about problems that we have on set that I need to solve. So it's just such a focus. You know, you really need such a focus. And, but you really just need proactive people that can spot problems before they come. And if you had like 2 or 3 around you, you get really better off. And people that don't get overwhelmed.
Now, what's the craziest thing that happened on set?
There's so many crazy stories. Almost every day I was convincing security guards and cops to let us shoot, because we had permits in some places and some places we didn't have permits. Mm-hmm. So, there was one day we were at a casino. We had no business at a casino.
You didn't have a permit at the casino?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You are nuts, man. Like I've shot crazy places, but I don't walk into a casino and shoot with an Alexa, no less.
It wasn't in the casino. It was outside the casino.
Fair enough.
Here's the thing I got going for me. I got a grip truck, 3-ton grip truck. I got a crew of 30 people, and everything looks legit. So everybody assumes I'm supposed to be there. It takes a while for security to get up, call the higher ups and higher ups. You got a good 30 minutes at least before they really realize you're not supposed to be there, because you look so legit.
Right.
You know? And I took full advantage of that. And we're at the casino, and the security guards come up. We've only been there 30, 40 minutes. We're already shooting. I'm shooting. I'm actually shooting my shot, I remember. And behind the camera, the security guard goes up to somebody and goes, "Hey, what are you guys doing here? We need to see your permit," you know? And David Lee, ride or die guy who drove the grip truck, shot the behind the scenes, was shot off still photography. He wearing numerous hats. He goes to the cop. He goes, "Oh, we have a permit. I'll find it for you if you want." And both the security guards go, "Yeah, if you don't have a permit, we don't even give a shit." And they left. And I was like, they're like, "Of course you guys belong here, I'm sure. We'll keep an eye out for you, make sure nobody bothers you guys." I'm like,
that is brilliant.
Is a union crew. So you have cops, security guards coming up to you every day asking if you belong here. Now, my crew is a deer in headlights. They'll stop. They'll freeze. Oh, my God, there's a cop. So usually I'd run up, talk to the security guard, and what I would normally say is, "Hey, how's it going, man? How long are you on shift today?" "Right on, man. You got to look like you had a good lunch, man. That's awesome." "Well, you have a wonderful day, man. I'm going back to shoot." "All right, see ya. Enjoy watching us make a movie." I'd go back to the crew.
But this is before they come in.
No, this is a different day. I'm sorry.
No. But this is like before they would approach you, or you see them coming and you just hit them first.
This is I spot them. I usually, if I spot them before we're started, I'll go up to them, because the crew's like, "Oh my God, security's looking at us." So I'll go up to the security. I'd say something like that to the security. I come back to the crew. Oh, we're all green light, guys. We're good. They think we have permission. We don't have permission. The security assumes we have permission because I was so friendly and upfront with them.
Right. You're not trying to hide or steal anything.
Not trying to hide. I go and say, hi, good to see you guys. They're like, man, we must not have got the memo. We shoot for hours. That one particular day, we shot for hours before anything happened.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. And now back to the show.
They ended up calling the higher-ups, who called the higher-ups. Everyone's trying to figure out who the hell we are. We shot for like 3 hours before they even noticed we weren't supposed to be there.
Right.
Then the head of security comes. I can't say the location, but the head of security comes to this place. It's a very big company. And he's like, whoa. He happens to come right at the worst possible time because someone in my crew is running next to a moving object that's extremely dangerous and not safe. And I would not have had them do it. I didn't want them to do it. But I was distracted looking at a shot, and the DP got excited with the first AD, and they were like, go, run, and bang on the window, And no, don't do that. But unfortunately, he did it right when the head of security walks up. So literally, head of security walks up as we're doing something that's unsafe, not what we're supposed to do. And he's like, whoa, like you need to shut this down. Like, what? I don't know what you're doing here. Where's your permit? You need a permit to be here. And I literally took 30 minutes to convince him. Like, I saved up all my money. My whole life is in this. I'm shooting a YouTube video that's going to change my life. I can't say a movie,
No.
You'd really need a permit for a movie. I'm shooting a YouTube video.
With Alexas and a 3-ton grip truck.
Exactly. Because he actually said that. He said to me, looks like a lot of equipment for a YouTube video.
I'm like, and then you should have turned just like, have you seen YouTube lately? I mean, the production quality has gotten up.
Well, eventually, after like throwing myself at the jury, like, oh my God, you have to let me shoot here. He said, listen, you can shoot, but don't go back near that moving object. Go shoot on the steps, shoot in the parking lot, shoot whatever. Well, I arranged my shooting schedule fully knowing that we have to do the most dangerous, not dangerous. Risky shooting first. Because if we get shut down, we can then maybe shoot farther away from the most important location. So I already had shot everything I needed to shoot in that location when he showed up. I needed one more shot. So we ended up shooting on the steps. Like, it's safe for us to shoot on steps. Okay. We're carrying a dead body up steps. Like, why would you let us do that? But he had to leave. He had like another emergency. So it didn't matter. So we shot in the parking lot. We shot on the steps. And then by the end of the night, we were like, okay, we need that one more shot. Let's go up and shoot it and then just get the hell out of here. So we went up and shot it. And then by the time he showed up, we were packing up because they called him and said, hey, they're up here again. But by the time he got there, we were done. We had left. We were about to leave. We were in the parking lot leaving. So I saw him up there talking to them, and I was like, oh, they called him for sure.
And then you're just like, we're out. Bye.
Yeah, I didn't wave. I just left. But, yeah, it was risky business. And there's all that kind of stuff, I mean, like, I'm very good at convincing people, especially on this one, to do something maybe they don't even want to do because it really is my whole life at that moment. I put 50,000 of my own money in there, and I'm not a rich guy. And just my whole life is on the line. I mean, if the feature don't get made, I don't know how I'm going to try to make another one. So, I make my case.
What I find fascinating is that you actually stole locations and did guerrilla filmmaking in Los Angeles with a large footprint of a grip truck, 30 crew members, Alexa. Like, you did the opposite of what I did, which I shot at Park City with a small camera, 2 people and my actors running around when there's tens of thousands of other people to take the attention away from me. You did the opposite. Like, if you would have came to me and said, hey, we're going to steal all these locations in Los Angeles. And I would have told you straight up as a consultant, I would have said, chances are you're going to get shut down, or I probably wouldn't do that. Well, let me see the list of locations. It's like, but you only could do it with like one camera and a guy. Like, you can't just have like roll up there, 30 deep. but you did, and it seemed to work out for you. I want to go down this road a little bit with the guerrilla filmmaking, because it's not something I've talked about a lot on here, on how to do illegal stuff. And it's not illegal. It's gray. It's gray. It's gray area. It's, you're not doing anything illegal.
You're allowed to shoot anywhere. We looked into the
yes, you are.
Anywhere, if you don't put a beanbag, if you don't set things on a sidewalk or somewhere, so if you have someone holding a light, holding a camera, everyone's moving, and you're allowed to shoot there. You're allowed to shoot. There's nothing they can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
People have cameras everywhere. They have their phones. You can't start making rules that people can't have cameras, or no one could take their phone anywhere. So really, it's legal. What's not legal is when safety comes involved. That's all.
Or private, is that private property, or that doesn't even matter anymore?
If it's private property, yeah, it probably matters, I'm sure. But no, none of the places we went were private property. Well, I guess so. They were companies, some of them. But yeah, so yeah, but whatever.
So so you only busted out the cranes and stuff when you had permits.
I mean, we used Steadicam a lot.
But that's not touching the floor, so you're good.
Yeah, I can't think of any time. No, we had jib arms. Yeah, we guerrillaed some places with jib arms and stuff like that.
So your strategy is brilliant, because you're like literally like, these guys can't be this stupid not to have a permit, and that's your strategy. Like, you were just rolling so deep that everyone's like, these guys have to be legit. They have to be legit.
They have to be legit.
I mean, if not, they would be insane.
Yeah, they would have to be insane. Yeah, that was our strategy. I wouldn't suggest it to anybody.
No, I wouldn't either, but it works. In Los Angeles, no less.
It worked because of me, because I'm that guy that just says it's going to work. I believe in my luck, and I pressed my luck like as hard as I could press it. I literally, like, my Lucky Charms box was empty by the end of the movie. I could feel I had nothing left of luck. All your lives
have been taken out. All your 9 lives.
I mean, they're built up again, But I mean, at the end of the movie, I was done. We got shut down one day out of all the days. One day. You know where we got shut down? My apartment. We got shut down at my apartment. All these days, we're in these crazy locations, and we're shooting in front of my apartment. It just so happened that we were shooting at rush hour. I was getting laved at the same time I was getting, I was looking for something. I was getting dressed for the next scene. And I was very distracted in my apartment. Well, we have to try to go under the radar a little bit. I go outside. They're directing traffic on my street. They got spotlights on the road. The whole road's lit up like a.
Who's doing this?
My first AD, my DP.
That's yeah.
I didn't talk to everyone about trying to go under the radar a little bit. Now, we could have got away with all of that, not directing traffic per se, but on top of it, everyone's yelling. So the head of the neighborhood watch is called in my neighborhood, and she's not taking no for an answer. She wants to see a permit. So we're shooting the most iconic scene in the movie, where we walk out in slow motion with Wally for the first time in public, the dead body. And it's just the slow motion scene with the music. Well, that was shot with literally a woman to my left screaming, "I want to see your permit. I want to see your permit." So I think at one point, Patrick, actually, Mitch, one of our lead guys, looks left. He's looking at the lady in the shot, screaming at us, "I want to see your permit." If you watch the movie, you might be able to see him glance left. That's who he's looking at. Luckily, the shot has no sound. We wouldn't have been able to use the sound because he's yelling. We got 2 takes of it. I wanted a 3rd take, but we couldn't get a 3rd take. She was like, I went up to her. I talked to her. I was like, "Oh, my God, are you okay? Did we bother you?" I tried to get to the root of the problem. It's the first thing I want to do, because if we offend somebody or we bother somebody, I want to assure them we're not going to do it again. She was not having that. She was like, "I want to see your permit." I was like, "I have somebody go get the permit." She's like, "If I don't see the permit in 2 minutes, I'm going to call the cops." And so I literally had to be like, "All right, guys, we're shutting down," because I know for a fact we only have two more shots here tonight. Okay, we're coming back here in 3 days, and not only are we coming back here in 3 days, we come back here in 3 days, and I'm shooting people in the movie. I have people dressed as cops. We're not allowed to dress as cops, and I have people getting shot. Like, I'm coming back here in 3 days. So the last thing I want is the cops to show up tonight and be aware of this whole freaking debacle. So I'm like,
insane.
Okay. sorry, we're going to shut down. I tell the whole crew, guys, we're done. All right, we back up. We go to the next location because they have another location that night to shoot. And the crew's like totally salty and pissed. Everyone's super pissed at this woman. But I'm like, don't talk to her, leave her alone, you know. And of course, Seth, my business partner, back he went out to dinner with his parents. He didn't leave set very often, but he.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. And now back to the show.
Decided he deserved a break or something. He went to dinner, and when he came back, we were shut down. And he had a freaking meltdown. He followed the lady home, like yelling at her, and like I was like, "Oh my god!" But it was hilarious because my crew, everybody wants to yell at the lady when they walk past her because she's literally on the other between my apartment building and where we were shooting. And I'm like, "Don't talk to her! Don't talk to her!" And James Babson, the guy who played Wally, who did a phenomenal job, he goes to her, "Way to destroy art." It was the funniest thing ever. I'm making this silly, goofy comedy. It's like, way to destroy art. And he's wearing the full-on American flag outfit. He's in the outfit. He's like, way to destroy art. It was
and what did she say? What did she say?
She didn't say anything. What is she going to say? You know, she felt bad, I think, after shutting us down, seeing how disappointed everybody was. But anyway, we went to the next location. So when we came back here the next day and we shot the scene where the guy gets shot with the gun and
how did you did you have blanks? Please don't tell me you shot with blanks.
No, we did not have blanks. We ended up special effects. We had the same special effects guys that did Venom actually work on our movie. I pulled favors. And
of course you did. Why wouldn't you pull favors?
That was a Seth favor actually.
So then so then you just had, but you still had guns and you had cops. Guys dressed as cops with guns. Not a good thing in LA.
So the cops eventually did get called that day, but luckily they got called after the cop scene was over. I got lucky, and that's why I shot it first. And by that time, the cops and the guns were put away. So the cop posted up on my street down at the cul-de-sac, just, like, I don't know, 50 yards, 40 yards from my house, my apartment. And the only thing we had left was all the car scenes. So we have the SUV, we have all these lights pointing in the window, we have the camera strapped to the hood, all things you're not allowed to have without putting it on a tow truck.
Right.
And how the hell are we going to get out of the driveway and past this cop? So luckily there's no lights on my street. So what we did is we turned out we set up all the lights. They're all pointing in the window. The camera's on the hood. We turn out all the lights of the car. Okay. And we drive down the street, pull out of my driveway, and we pull down the street and go around the corner. And I get out of the car. I turn on the camera. I turn on all the lights. And then we proceed to go and we shoot. We shoot for 40 minutes, whatever. We come back to the apartment a block or two away. I turn out all the lights. I turn out the camera and we pull in, and he never saw the camera. He never saw any of it. And he was posted down there for hours watching. Just
to make sure that you guys didn't shoot.
Well, he was waiting probably for us to light up the street again because she told him they were shooting in the street when we never shot in the street. We never went out there. So he's not going to come up to my apartment. He can't do that. So, and he never was in a position to see my driveway. So we were golden. You know,
You're insane. You're insane, dude. You're insane. Actually, and believe it or not, I had another filmmaker. I'm not sure if he was on the show or not, but they were shooting in their house, and a neighbor called, and everything was in their house. Everything was in their house. They had nothing outside. It was all lit from the inside. Everything, right? The neighbor calls because they're making too much noise. The cops come and knock on their door, and do you have a permit to shoot? And in LA, you need a permit to shoot in the house. And they gave him a ticket, and they had to go to court. And it was like $1,000 ticket. And LA's no joke, man. They know knuckleheads like you and me. They know we're gonna go do stuff like this, and they're gonna get their piece. That's just the way it is. But so I'm assuming you had production insurance. So you had production insurance for all of this, right? Yeah, you had to for grip, and all that kind of stuff. Did you do SAG?
Yeah, we did. I do want to say though, I talked to every single one of my neighbors that are close.
Yeah.
And told them what we were doing. And
right.
My phone number and said, if you have a problem, let me know. And just kind of prepared them mentally. I was like, please bear it. We're only here 2 days. We're only here one more day. they all like kind of knew what was going on. They didn't really like it, but they were like, okay.
Because that you're guilting your neighbors, because if they call the cops, they're like, dude, you got to see me every day. Like, why are you being that way?
I prepped them ahead of time,
That's a smart way of doing it.
Yeah, and I begged and pleaded before, knowing full well that if somebody gets pissed, I'm screwed. So it was kind of like, listen, I'm so sorry we're doing this, but it's just the one day, and I promise we'll be done before this hour, So they just had to bear and take it because, 30, 40 people running around my apartment. We're loud. We're louder than not being loud. We're definitely not a normal night, But they were, they were nice enough. Except for that lady.
Except for that lady
down the street. Yeah. Except for that lady down the street.
And nothing else to do with her life.
Everybody else is too busy with their life. Exactly. But, you learn a lot, and I also know I'm pretty positive. I was in a different city. I would have been golden, really golden. Because you need a permit. They're going to say, what's going on here? Cool, dude, So, again, like I said, I pressed my luck 100%. So.
I actually, when I was at Park City shooting my movie, the cops made a U-turn behind me as I shot. It's one of my favorite shots in the whole movie because they literally are in my movie. They make a U-turn. I don't even sure if they looked over at us or not because it's Park City. There's 1,000 people with cameras running around. Like, you could do whatever you want during that festival. It was brilliant, but I was nervous as hell. But after like day one, I was like, oh, hell with this. That's when we went to Sundance headquarters and shot 2 scenes at Sundance headquarters. Mind you, I did not get accepted to Sundance, so they might be a little perturbed. I'm not sure.
Well, but you didn't probably get accepted to Sundance because they're so about minorities right now. Like,
hey, I'm Latino, man. Come on.
No, but you're not a gay Latino.
No, I'm not a gay one-legged Latino. I need to be a gay one-legged Latino who really wants to dance.
And used to be a woman.
And I don't know about all that, but
Seth told me, he said, listen, if I put down that you're a transgender and you used to be a woman, we'll get into something.
It's, you know what? And all joking aside, we're joking. For everyone listening, we're just joking. But it is true. If you look at they are all about diversity and getting as many different kinds of people in. But this is what I always said. I was like, if you want to get into Sundance, here's a recipe. It's make a woman about a one-legged hooker who's Puerto Rican, who lives in the Bronx. She's a ballet dancer. She's a stripper by day, but she really just wants to dance, and like that gets in.
That gets in.
That gets in. That'll get in.
I'm not knocking it. They're supporting those people, and those people need to be supported. I just knew that Wally Got Wasted.
not so much the Sundance movie.
Sundance, they're not going to accept some movie about some dead guy running around town. It's not their style, and everyone has their own style. It's all good. You're going to have to see it on Amazon Prime. That's where you're
absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about your distribution, man. So, what is your distribution model and your plan, and how are you planning to get it out there? Because it is a little bit more unique than usual.
Right now we're on Amazon. You don't need Amazon Prime to watch. You can just watch it on Amazon. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't have Prime. You don't need Prime. Mm-hmm. Just go Wally Got Wasted. It's right there on Amazon. Yeah, it's been successful so far on there, but we're not nearly as successful as we need to be eventually. But in about 30 days, we use an aggregator. We're going to be on all the platforms. We'll be on video on demand on Cox, on Spectrum, on DirecTV, iTunes, Google Play. On all the platforms. We're going to be on all the platforms soon, and we're slowly taking over a country by country. Right now we're in America, and we're in England, and we just got in Germany, and it's all independent grassroots. We did not go with a distributor. Distributors gave us some offers, a few different ones, but ultimately my business partner, Seth Hines, is an online marketer. Like, he's a huge online marketer, and he was excited to do the marketing for this and excited to see the numbers every day and analyze what's working and what's not working. And we have a product that looks like a studio movie. So we thought that people would purchase it like they purchase studio movies. And so far, it's been great. I mean, I just told you before the screening, Sunday alone, 60 people rented the movie and 10 bought it, so we just got to keep plugging away. And honestly, we need to start trending on platforms and stuff. And I'm excited to be on the video on demand, because I think when you're new on video on demand, you're like top 10 on new releases. And so I'm excited about that. That's just free advertising.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. And now back to the show.
And yeah, it's very much a college movie, so very niche-y in that way. And it's a comedy. There's not a whole lot of comedies that are good out there. So we have our little niche market, and we know it, and we're just going for it. And it's been great so far. It's been really great. I've been on a podcast or a radio interview like every 3-4 days. Interviews.
But obviously, you've been waiting for my podcast as a special one. Obviously,
yours is a big one. Yours is a big one. And you have loyal fans,
I have to. I'm stroking my own ego. I appreciate that, sir.
You're a great interviewer.
Okay, stop. Okay, stop. Just stop. It's it's not genuine. I can sense it. I can sense it.
I'm excited to come on this show, Alex.
I know you are. No, dude. I told when I heard the story and I saw the video. This is months. We've been trying to do this for months. God, it's like it's almost it's like August. Yeah. I met you in August of last year is when we met.
Yeah, I know.
And the movie it was done, but you were just going through all the, hey, maybe this guy will pick it up, or maybe I could get there, or you were still trying to figure it out.
That's the crazy part. And it's like every step of this way, I'll say this for all the filmmakers out there, every step of this way, there's that dream of like someone's going to come on board and make these movies. And it just never happened. Every step of the way, making the movie, casting the movie, distributing the movie. Every single time, it's like somebody comes along and they kind of offer you a deal, but it's not really a deal. And in the end, that is the thing I've learned the most, is bet on yourself. Like, if you know you're the hardest working person in the room, then bet on yourself. I'm not going to stop until Wally Got Wasted is a classic. Is a hometown, is a classic. People talk about it, that indie movie, Wally Got Wasted. I won't stop until that's the case. And I can bet in myself, you know what I mean? And it's going to be pure effort of like, I see the numbers every day. People rent it every day, and I'm going to get it until it's millions of people. And I won't stop until it is.
It's the hustle, baby. It's the hustle. As Mark Duplass says, the cavalry is not coming.
And it'll get easier. I mean, like, I got really lucky on this with a certain amount of people. We got the same DP as Teen Wolf, like I said. We got some great actors. We got an Academy nominated. Actually, she won a Golden Globe. Sally Kirkland's in it.
Sure.
Larry Hankin's in it. He was like,
I know Larry. I did a movie with Larry.
So many things. And he's great. Alex Soul came out of retirement. Alex Soul's in the back room who did the Russian roulette scene. I'm not sure if you know. He was phenomenal in it. Came out of retirement for it, which is so great. And I wrote that role actually for J.K. Simmons, which is really funny. And I thought J.K. was going to be in the movie. So I used to have this job. I used to inspect Teslas, right? And I'll tell the story. I don't know if you want to hear it. So I go to J.K. Simmons' house. I'm supposed to inspect his Tesla. They're like, hey, I'm like the best guy to inspect the Teslas at the time. So they're like, we have a job for you. We know you do show business on the side, so we have this job for you. So I go to J.K.'s house, right? I'm like, I have to talk to J.K. Like, I want to try to get him in the movie, and I want to try to talk to him.
So how LA is that the Tesla guy that's coming over to check the Tesla is going to pitch J.K. a movie? Is this pre-Oscar or after Oscar?
It's literally a month after the Oscars. He just won Best Actor,
and he's doing the Allstate commercials. Got it.
Exactly. So I go to his house, right? I'm like, okay, I just got to get him. I'm going to vibe with him. I have this whole thing in my head. I show up. JK's like, here's the keys to the Tesla. Here's the car in the driveway. If you need anything, let me know. And he walks back to the house.
As he should. As he should. There's no other reason to have a conversation with. I mean, unless you want to, with the Tesla tech.
So I'm sitting there inspecting the Tesla. I'm like, literally, my mind is racing. Well, what the hell am I going to do? What the hell am I going to do? Like, I have to talk to this guy, and I can't be weird about it. So what can I do?
I'm dying to hear how this ends.
He's like, you all done? I'm like, I have to take a drive in the Tesla. We have to take a drive in the Tesla. We don't have to take a drive in the Tesla. We don't. We don't take the stride. I made this shit up. So
that's brilliant.
Like, do you want to take a drive in the Tesla? I'm like, I don't really feel safe driving. I think you should drive. I'll ride and just kind of feel how it is. We drove for 50 minutes. We drove
for 50. You had JK in a car for 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone listening, you see, this is the personification of hustle. This is like he's just figuring it out as he goes.
Oh,
brilliant.
I was so depressed when he went back inside. I was like, oh my God, like this opportunity is going to go by me. I cannot let this go by me.
So brilliant.
So I got him in the car. We drove around. He's like, is that good? I'm like, no, I think I need to see how it drives on the freeway. We got on the freeway.
Oh, that's so ridiculous.
That's like, I'm talking to him about how he started. I'm talking to him about music. I'm trying to befriend him as much as possible.
Sure. And I'm assuming, I hear he's a cool dude.
He's a very cool dude.
Yeah.
Very nice guy.
Very down to earth.
As soon as I got in the car with him, I said, I have to admit to you, I said, I watched Whiplash last week. I'm a little intimidated. I'm a little scared of you right now. And he laughed. He was like, nah, man, you got nothing to worry about. I was like, well, if I was
way to disarm him right there. Look at that.
It's like, if I was driving, it's one of the reasons I didn't want to drive. I figured you might be coaching me, like in Whiplash, and I couldn't handle the pressure. And I made him laugh again, and it was on from there. We were vibing and talking and stuff. And by the end of it, I mean, we did a video together. I was like, I wanted to do a video with him. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
No, you did not do a video with JK. Is it on YouTube?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay, so if it's on YouTube, everyone listening and watching, I will put a link, or I will embed that video in the show notes because that's going to be genius.
Yeah, I did a video with him. I lied because my sister's birthday was like 5 months from then, 4 months from then. But I'm like, my sister is a famous singer. I don't know if anybody knows that. Zizi Ward's my sister. She's a great singer. But I was like, listen, I have this idea for a video for my sister. It's her birthday. I don't know if you'd help me do it.
Did he know who she was?
He did not know who she was.
Okay.
But I'm like, he was just a nice guy. I'm like, I have an idea to do this video for her where I sing her happy birthday, and then all of a sudden you interrupt me and start doing the Whiplash thing, and you're like, no, do it again. And he was like, he loved the idea, and so we did the video together. And so,
my God!
Yeah,
what, like with your phone, like right there?
Yeah, with my phone right there. Yeah, we did it in his driveway. And I have his cell phone number, and I got him to watch the parole officer's trailer. At the time, he laughed out loud when he watched a trailer, which is golden. And I said, I'm about to make my first feature. And he said, well, maybe it'll work out. Maybe we could do something together in the future. So I literally wrote the scene, the Russian roulette scene in the movie for J.K. Simmons. I had his cell phone number at that point. And it just didn't work out for him to be in the movie. He had he has so much work, but he was gone the whole summer. He was like in Europe for other movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say the agents would have kiboshed that.
Oh, and he said the agents were extremely against it. He did. But then we almost had Bradley Cooper do the part 2, but he was shooting A Star Is Born. So we couldn't get that either. Bradley Cooper is really good friends with James Babson, who plays Wally. And so they were like college friends and everything. But he's like, dude, Bradley would probably do it for one day, but he can't. He's shooting this movie, A Star Is Born, which I didn't know how big it was going to be at the time. It's his first time directing, and he's having a baby with his wife. So it was like, there's no way he has the time to do it. But I was like, eventually we got Alex, and Alex killed it. I'm super happy that Alex killed it. So
that is that's just such an LA story. That's like, you can't do that anywhere else in the world. Like, you can't, hey, I'm just going to go pick, because I've heard so many stories of people like trying to meet celebrities, or like you saw that movie Living in Oblivion, right? That old like 90s, that movie's about making an independent film. And I think it's the grip or the gaffer has a script in his back pocket the entire movie. Or it's either the script, the gaffer or the DP, and he keeps trying to pitch it to the lead actress, who's like that one actress who one time was famous and she's now doing indie movies back then. It was brilliant.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the truth is, like, this is good advice for anybody listening. When you meet a celebrity, you can go for the photo. I mean, go for the photo if you want, whatever works. But the truth is, this industry is so small that don't pitch them, don't try to get them, and try to befriend them. That's the number one thing, is try to befriend them. Try to get them to remember your name. Try to make them laugh. Try to make them laugh. I always try to make them laugh. And I wish I knew that when I saw Steven Spielberg. I used to see Steven Spielberg every day when I worked at DreamWorks. He'd walk in with his dog. I was terrified to talk to him because my brother got me the job and he's like, don't get fired. So I was like, I can't, I can't
talk to Steven Spielberg.
Well, other than hello. But I see him like every day. Like, why are you not like trying to make this guy laugh? Like, you have a tool. You're good at making people laugh. Make him laugh,
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. And now back to the show.
Now I know nowadays it's like literally befriend these people. That's what you need to do. And if you can get them to remember your name, you'll see them again. You see these people again. But befriend them. That's the number one thing. If you try to pitch them, everybody tries to pitch them. I mean, shit. People try to pitch me now movie ideas all the time. I can only imagine.
People pitch me ideas.
Exactly. Somebody always has a movie idea, and they're telling me, I'm like, I have 50 movie ideas. I don't know how I'm going to make all the ideas I have, let alone an idea you have. And you don't realize, like, any idea I have to be completely in love with it because it is a labor of love.
Oh, you're going to be in it for a couple of years.
Yeah. So these movie stars, I mean, can you imagine how many people pitch them? Like, they do not want to be pitched. Make them laugh, entertain them, get them to remember your name, and then leave it alone and see them next time, or get a photo at the end, if you want. But don't try to pitch them. It's the worst thing you can do because they're not everything that's business. They don't want to talk business. Their agent talks business with them. That's just what it is. But anyway.
But yeah, exactly. Like, if they play golf, or that they like a certain kind of movie or kind of music, that's how you connect with them in one way, shape, or form. You have to connect with people on a human level, not on a business level.
And not on a business level. It's like you going up to the CEO of Apple and being like, I got an idea for Apple. Like, you think he wants to hear that from the layman?
It's like the iPhone, but it's like an iPad, but then it's on your wrist. Like, we're good. Thanks.
It's funny, it's all funny. But, I know a lot of filmmakers watch this, and so that would be my advice for them, And if any filmmakers are watching this, I'm Adam William Ward on Instagram if you want to connect with me at all. And you watch Wally Got Wasted and you want to talk to me at all about the movie, I try to keep up with all the messages that I get from people that watch the movie, and I really enjoy people that love the movie. So if you do want to connect, Adam William Ward on Instagram. And
obviously, if they want to pitch ideas to you, where do they go?
Plenty of those people do too.
Should I just tweet my idea to you, Adam? Can I just tweet it?
I don't usually use Twitter, so you can tweet me all you want. I'm on there. I think I have like 150 followers, but I don't really use it. So
now I'm going to ask you a few questions to ask all my guests, sir. What advice would you give a filmmaker wanting to break into the business today?
Do it. Don't break into the business. Make the business. Stop trying to put your hand out to somebody else and start doing it yourself. There's all the tools in the world are there for you now. We have high def cameras we didn't have 10 years ago. You don't need 35 millimeter anymore. You can self distribute your movie. You have all the platforms. You can get an aggregator to put them on platforms. You can do it all yourself. All you need is money, of course. But you can pull.
Not even that much. And not even that much.
No, I mean you can pull off a lot with a little. If you're an indie filmmaker, stop putting your hand out. Start making your own business.
Can you tell me the book that had the biggest impact on your life or career?
Book? I would say reading. I don't read. No, I just thought your book, Alex, is going to make the biggest difference.
Oh, you mean this? Book? You mean this one right here, Shooting for the Mob? That one?
For the Mob's probably going to make the biggest difference of my life. No,
thank you for the plug within my own show. I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? So that book's a big one for me. I said the other one is a book called Catching the White Tiger, which I am now responsible after this week of writing into a movie script. Someone's paying me to write into a movie script.
Good for you. That's awesome, man.
It's a book about a man's life story who came to America and made it all come true for himself. And so that's going to take up a lot of my year. I mean, obviously I'm going to do other projects, but I just got hired on for that. So
that's awesome, dude.
And that's actually a lesson to a lot of people out there too. It's like, you don't know what's coming next. You just got to get your work out there. People see it and opportunities come, but you don't know what opportunity is going to come. You know, I hear people all the time, it's like, I'm going to do this and then this is going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. Stop trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Just make it and do it, and stop thinking about outcome. Outcome is not important in art. Just focus on the art and have a plan. I'm not saying don't have a plan, like how you're going to get it out there or any of that, but don't have expectations on what's going to happen. Like that's out of your control. Like, oh, an agent, I'm going to get an agent from this. I'm going to get a studio movie next from this. These are all things you can't control. And it's really just stupid of you to try to put that kind of pressure on yourself. That's the kind of pressure that will end your career if it doesn't happen. It's a heart. Why put the heartbreak? Don't have any heartbreak. Just literally stay focused on what you're doing and make a piece of art or whatever. If it's mine's not, I don't know how much you want to say. Wally Got Wasted is a piece of art. You know, to make people
I was going to say something, but I just let you go, sir.
Why should I on and laugh? But you know, that's what it is. You know, a lot of people are making this. It's art to them. It's passion that drives it, and just do that and focus on that and have fun doing it, and stop focusing on an outcome. That's my.
Now, what's the lesson that took you the longest to learn, whether in the film business or in life?
Bet on myself. It's the same lesson. It's you know how you know I've been in this now 10 years hustling, and so much time was wasted on trying to wait for somebody to help me.
Yeah.
So much time is wasted on a studio or somebody saying this is going to happen, and you just go home and you're excited, and you know. But the truth is, like I've given up on that dream, and I'm sure that'll probably even happen one day. I'll get a studio movie, or I'll get in tight with Netflix or somebody, and they're like, "We want you to make stuff." I'm sure it'll happen. I don't care at this point. I just don't care. I'm going to keep making stuff because I want to make stuff, and stop waiting for people. You know, that's the number one lesson: is go do it and stop waiting. It's the same thing with investors. I think I'm going to teach a film course eventually, but with investors, I learned so much on Wally, and we didn't raise that much money, but we raised enough to know. And you got to realize when you talk to investors, I had 10 people turn me down compared to the one person that did it, or maybe even the ratio is higher. But I can sniff bullshit a mile away on someone who's not going to invest, because a lot of people want to talk to you about it, but they don't actually want to invest. So I learned so much with all that stuff, and it does come back to not wanting to wait for people. Just kick ass yourself. So, 3
of your favorite films of all time, sir. As of today.
I mean, it's funny. Braveheart is always one I mention because it's so well executed. He directed it and he starred in it, which is mind blowing. I know how hard that is, and for him, he had thousands of people that he was in charge of, not 100 people, and the theme of the movie is everybody dies, but not everybody lives. And to have a film encompass that whole ideology and show it to you, make you feel it at the end of it, you're like, God, I want to do something spectacular in my life. He executed it.
I'm gonna throw a quote that's gonna blow your mind. I just heard this quote today, and I'm gonna use it on another show. Most people die at 20, but are buried at 90.
There you go.
Isn't that
pretty true?
Isn't that amazing? I heard that quote. I was like, I'm sorry?
Especially in Hollywood, they kill your dreams.
At 20, you die, and at 90, you because they don't go anywhere. They just stay. They stay in the safe zone this entire time, and it's especially in this town.
That was one of the reasons I stopped working for the studios. You know, I went to DreamWorks and went to Warner Brothers. Every single person around me, Todd Phillips' assistant, was a filmmaker, was a director, but he was his assistant for 10 years. He was 10 years older than me, and I was like, "Wait, you want to be a filmmaker, but you're his assistant?" Because they're hoping that one day Todd's going to come down and go, "You shall direct." Yeah, exactly. Everybody around me was hoping to do another job. I found literally 80% of the people at the studio system wanted to do a different job. And I was like, and they were all 10 years older than me at the time. They were about my age. And I was like, I can't, if I want to do what I want to do, I got to go do it. I can't do this in turn to do that. I got to just go do it. You got to prove yourself. So, anyway.
All right. So that's one movie.
Another one was Predator back in the day.
Oh, it's the best. It's one of the best top 5 action movies of the 80s.
I love it.
Bar none.
I mean, you have everything. You have the biggest, buffest, like badass dude.
Oh, it is. There's so much testosterone coming off of that film. It's just like, what's wrong? You got the CIA pushing too many pencils. It's like, it's just that handshake with the two arms at the beginning of the movie, which is now literally a meme. It's so brilliant.
It's phenomenal. You have all the toughest guys in the world at the time that are in cinema, and you have a monster that's actually worthy of killing them all. Like, how can you do that?
No, it's brilliant.
And how it was introduced to me was amazing too. That's one of the reasons why it is my favorite movie, because of how it was introduced to me. I was not allowed to watch it. I was too young.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. And now back to the show. I was going to say.
And I had to wait in the other room while my older brother watched it. And I could hear the monster like yelling. And I was so captivated, I was like so captivated. I was like 6 at the time,
And he's watching it on VHS, obviously.
Yeah. And then a year later, I was allowed to just watch the ending. And I saw the monster finally, that I was just like, oh my God, look at this monster. And then a year or two after that, I was finally allowed to watch the movie. So it was like a 4-year process, Predator, for me, 4 or 5 years. And it was just the coolest looking monster. I don't think they've got that monster right ever since the first movie.
Not really, man. I mean, it's hard to it's like perfection, man. Like, it's hard to take that series anywhere else, man. It was like, the only time I saw it happen was like with Alien. Like, Alien is a masterpiece, but Aliens is a masterpiece.
Absolutely.
Without question. But then it kind of...
Cameron took it to another level. He took the ideology and he went... That's why everybody's like, oh my God, Ridley's going back and doing Aliens. I'm like, yeah, but James Cameron, so I want to go back and do Alien. If you say anyone's going to do it. Like, really did amazing. Don't get me wrong. But, dude, the second one, he took it to the whole other level.
I mean, and Jimmy's doing some Blue People movie again, like 4 of them in a row. So he's all right. He's kind of busy.
Terminator, yeah.
No. Well, Terminator. He's producing Terminator,
but he's writing as well.
I think he's writing it. So if he's writing it, I'll go see it, because it hasn't been a good Terminator since Terminator 2. And actually, that's where they're picking it up from. They're literally just gonna, like, nothing else happened. We're picking it up straight from Terminator 2.
That was one of those I heard about. I was like, God, how do I get that movie? Like, if I could just get a cameo in that movie.
You and everybody else in your age range and my age range.
I'm going to keep rocking, doing my own thing. But,
okay. And third?
Oh gosh, I got to think about that for a second. I'll throw in a comedy. Wedding Crashers
was a great film.
Classic for me.
Yeah.
And at the time, actually, like, it was the same year it came out, I think. Or the year after, I was heartbroken. It was the only movie that made me feel better. I would just watch Wedding Crashers like over and over again. Like, it's just such a fun movie.
It's both of them at the peak of their powers. Yeah. It's Owen and
well, it made them both movie stars, really. I mean, like, Owen probably already was a movie star, but
that blew him up. And I can't believe I'm blanking on his name.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn, thank you. Vince Vaughn. He Swingers got him going a little bit, and he did a few things, but Wedding Crashers just catapulted him.
I ran into Vince recently, and I was like, he looks like a normal guy, but he's tall as shit. But just like chilling with a bunch of kids and stuff, so I just left him alone. I actually didn't talk to him. But Owen Wilson, I met at, where was I? I think it was at the Viceroy or something. Uh-huh. And he's hammered. He's freaking drunk out of his mind. And I literally have 3 guys on the couch, the DVD. And
you did.
And somehow the producer with him thought that he knew me. So I came up and I sat with them and I was drinking with them. And he was like, they were wasted out of their mind. And the producer's like, yeah, this is blah, blah, blah. He introduces me at a different name. I don't say, no, I'm not him. I just keep hanging out. And I handed him 3 guys on the couch the DVD, and I'm like, yeah, man, check out the show. You should come on sometime. It's just a fun show. It probably ended up in the trash, but, they were super friendly and super drunk.
More Hollywood stories. We should do a whole episode of just your Hollywood stories, sir.
Oh, I have a lot. I have many of them.
Now, where can people find you and Wally Got Wasted?
Wally Got Wasted right now is on Amazon. All you got to do is Google, go to Amazon and type in Wally Got Wasted. Please write us reviews. We need reviews on Amazon. It really helps us. And rate the movie on IMDb. It's $6.99 to rent and $15, I think, to buy on there. And the movie, in about 30 days, will be on all the platforms. So it should be very easy to find pretty soon. Google Play, Video on Demand.
iTunes, everything, yeah.
And to find me, Instagram is Adam William Ward. You can connect with me on there. I'm on Facebook too, but not a lot of people use Facebook anymore. And the same thing, Adam William Ward. You can Google me, Adam William Ward. Everywhere I'm Adam William Ward. And I'm going to be making a lot more stuff. 3 Guys on the Couch is free on Amazon Prime. Parole Officers is free on Amazon Prime. And Wally Got Wasted is our feature, which I mostly talked about tonight on Amazon. So please check it out, and I hope you enjoy it.
It has been a lesson in guerrilla filmmaking, in Hollywood stories. It's been a very enjoyable conversation, brother. So thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much. I was happy to be here, Alex.
I'd like to thank Adam for coming on the show and dropping some hilarious knowledge bombs on the tribe today. Thank you, Adam. If you want to get links to the movie or anything we discussed in this episode, please head over to indiefilmhustle.com/330 for the show notes. And if you haven't already, please head over to filmmakingpodcast.com and leave a good review for the show. It really helps out a lot. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It really does help the show out a lot and gets this information out to more and more filmmakers around the world. So thank you guys so much. Again, I can't wait to just share with you what I'm doing. You have no idea. It's torture for me too, guys. Don't think it's not. But I know you guys are really excited, and I'm excited to share it with you. So I'll give you one little one thing. I'm gonna drop another little clue, another little tip, a little teaser. It's not just one thing. It's going to be a few things. So that's it. I can't say anymore. I can't do it. That's it. But I know I'm horrible. I apologize, guys. But thank you guys for all the support, and thank you for all the interest in what I'm doing and what we're doing at Indie Film Hustle. So I truly, truly appreciate it. And guys, by the way, if you have not had a chance, head over to the YouTube page of Indie Film Hustle, which we're doing a lot of cool stuff there. I'm posting videos every single day there, and they're going to be clips from our interviews, video interviews, as well as the director series is back. So we're putting out these amazing video essays about great directors. I think the next ones we're going to be releasing are The Shining and Clockwork Orange, analyzing both those films with the master Stanley Kubrick. So head over to indiefilmhustle.com/YouTube, and it'll take you straight to that channel. Please subscribe there as well. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, keep that hustle going. Keep that dream alive. And I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Indie Film Hustle podcast at indiefilmhustle.com. That's INDIEFILMHUSTLE.com.